So you got a giant canine dog, like canine unit, and Tom Hanks was his partner, and Hanks just died, and now I'll work alone.
He was a great DEA agent, but he kept snorting all the evidence.
And the trainer's like, yeah, I mean, dogs can sense things that that people don't always sense. So maybe his previous owner, his cantankerous partner Tom Hanks, really respected you. Oh, like, and that's why the dog will only talk to me.
For a second, I thought it was legit gonna talk, like full mouth.
They gotta do the Fever Dream episode at least.
Oh yeah, that's coming. There's no way that dog doesn't say at least one thing to him before the end of the season in a dream or something. Call her.
Son of Sam.
Yes. Yes.
You gotta kill them all, Turner.
Way better movie.
Episode 343 of the TV Dudes, Far From Home. Whether it's the super buff heroes and villains of Masters of the Universe on a quest through heaven and hell, the characters of Miracle Workers Season 3 out on the Oregon Trail, or that slobber-faced dog on Turner and Hooch on Disney Plus, destroying the apartment of his new owner Josh Peck, or Randy, who's just out of town this week. We're all a long way from where we started. But, as always, I'm Les.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes.
And Randy no longer has the power.
Right? Right?
He gave us the power.
Yes, we are the Teelas of this situation in a world without Randy, whether he's Skeletor or He-Man, I don't know. But either way.
It's like, oh no, I knew this was going to be the Les show. You said it was going to be Randy, but it was Les.
Yes. So this week, we're talking Masters of the Universe Revelation, the Kevin Smith cartoon that I had nearly no interest in until I actually watched it. Then Miracle Workers, which Kyle has been trying to get us to watch for 3 seasons. But TBS...
Anybody watching TBS still?
TBS is way against us on this. And then, we're going to talk a little bit about Disney and how they're mining every single thing they own, which is a lot of weird shit.
Wait, so are you talking about the people from their child properties, those actors? Or are you talking about literally the
I think they've got mines somewhere, but that's a separate issue.
They're just mining talent.
Get him by his foot. Dig over here.
I do have a theory about that when we get there. A possible indentured servitude racket Disney may be running.
I just imagine that scene in Two Towers where they're unearthing those orcs from the ground. They're literally digging them up.
Yes.
And it's like late 90s and 2000 Disney actors. It's like, oh my god, it's That's So Raven. It's coming out of that dirt pile puddle.
Yes. The Disney Orchard. Fields of Talent. So before we get into that disturbing mess, let's talk about TV Diaries.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Kyle, what did you watch this week?
Ooh, getting back in the swing of things. Gosh, it seems like summer. It used to be they never had any TV on in the summer, so you weren't missing stuff if you were running around, doing projects in the summer. But now Netflix, they just changed the game. Like everything's piling up. But no, I am all in on Rick and Morty and have been just really enjoying it week to week. This week was the Keith David episode, and we got tons of President. I don't know if you guys have watched any of the cold opens on YouTube, but it's just the lead in. It's fantastic. And it sucks because I won't be able to talk about it with you guys for another year now when you see it. So I'm like, why do I even bring it up? I'll just be a closeted Rick and Morty fan.
Well, I'll catch up when I, find a way to catch up legally at some point. For sure. Cough.
I mean, for the time being, you can see Rick and Morty on HBO Max in their Space Jam cameo.
Your problem now, dum-dums.
So, in addition to what we're going to talk about later, the Turner and Hooch remake, Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe, Revelation, Miracle Workers, which I may be the only one who caught. I am also kind of ahead of the game on, of course, Ted Lasso came back. I don't know if you're a Lasso head, a Lasso head, is that what we're calling ourselves? No, the Ted Lasso fans were probably out when that hit streaming this week. I was one of them, and then I stuck around for Schmigadoon. And what's funny is when they sing it, I'm like, oh, I can say that. And then when I try to say it to somebody, I'm like, how do you say this? But yeah, I went and jumped in, I think 3 episodes on that. And then I watch Colbert every night, and also have gotten almost all the way through of Never Have I Ever, which is just one of my favorite shows. Like, nothing like that show gets me to pull the blanket up over my face and like, I don't want to look at the screen, because that girl's just doing something so awkward. Anyways, we're going to discuss that next week. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, and then people should still tune in because you could be in for a shock. We all obviously hate it. We're not definitely in the back for that show.
Yeah, but no. What did you guys have in your TV diaries for this week?
Nick, did you watch any of the television?
Well, I did watch a couple more movies in my kind of like my movie phase right now. I watched that Blood Red Sky movie on Netflix.
Ooh.
Is that the vampire mom in a plane?
Yep, that's the vampire mom on a plane. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Red October. I don't know. I got those confused.
No Sean Connery in this one.
Has there been a vampire on a submarine or zombies on a submarine movie?
Sure. The vampire on a submarine.
It's Dominic Purcell is the highest tier actor on this
Oh
one.
my God, are you kidding?
Nope. And the Prison Break guy.
Fun fact: he is pregnant on Legends of Tomorrow right now.
What?
Yep, Mick Rory is pregnant currently on Legends of Tomorrow. If you haven't tuned into Legends in a minute, there's a reason to.
You mean like Arnold in Junior?
Yes.
I'm behind, and now I got I got to catch up.
Did you know the science of making allowing men to carry the baby is actually such that they would put the baby on the back? Like theoretically, if we were going to try that, men would actually carry the baby on the back, and you'd have to sleep on your stomach.
Wow, I could have gone my whole life without knowing that or visualizing that.
There's no
Germany,
way.
Dude.
There's no way, dude.
You give them permission, they're ready. Germany is ahead. I mean, I don't want to say ahead of the curve.
But why would you do that? I don't know. We can
redefining the curve in ways because we can. Rule 43.
The movie was all right. The cinematography wasn't really much to write home about, and I don't know. It felt like there was something missing. Like they keep flashing back to how she became a vampire, and it's not very interesting. Like no. The interesting part is on the plane. Stick with the plane. That's the interesting story.
I'm assuming she got bit by another vampire. Okay, cool. Back to the plane.
There. You fucking figured it out. Like it gives you a whole backstory of like, I get, yeah, I knew this. Why are we stopping the potentially awesome movie that about like Passenger 57 if Wesley Snipes was a fucking vampire?
Always bet on red.
Blade, but it's Passenger 57.
Oh man, Wesley Snipes is down to make that movie right there. Like
sure,
right now. He's probably filming it in his yard.
Some motherfucker's always trying to fly uphill. I watched Jolt. The what's her name? Damn it, Kate Beckinsale new vehicle.
In my head, I keep picturing the John Travolta animated dog movie. That's Bolt.
That's Bolt or Volt.
This is Jolt.
Yeah.
Jolt is the soda. The like the energy soda or whatever.
Yes.
The premium drink of hackers via 1993.
And neither of these things is the Carla Gugino Max series Jet.
No, that one's like I actually started watching that one. It was pretty good. No, this one is Kate Beckinsale. She has like some sort of like extreme physical Tourette's or something, where she just acts out aggression at the smallest provocation. So she like electrifies herself like it's like an ancient like it's the only thing that seems to work is this like electrifying herself so that she doesn't, when she gets those impulses, goes on a date with Jai Courtney. Of course, I can only be 80% sure it's Jai Courtney without immediately looking at IMDb.
Could be Sam Worthington.
Well, at a certain point, you're just taking the movie's word on it.
Yeah.
But and he gets he runs into trouble with some like mob people or some evil people, and she gets like revenge for them. And the movie it's got some pretty good fight scenes and stuff. Stanley Tucci is in it, so that's cool. Other than that, like if you've seen a movie before, you will absolutely know how this movie ends within the first 15 minutes. But it also ends with like a sequel bag of like, hey, we're also going to start a franchise because Kate Beckinsale lost the Underworld thing, so now she's looking for her new, like, make it every other year fucking franchise.
I was a huge fan of Underworld. Will I like this if I really liked Underworld?
I don't know. It's
Well,
nothing like Underworld.
I
Okay.
want to picture Kate Beckinsale saw Crank and was like, I want to make that movie, but I don't think that's what this is.
Oh, Crank 2 High Voltage? No,
Yes.
this isn't Crank
No,
2 High
not that.
Voltage.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I watched The Kingdom, the movie that was like, have you guys seen the Korean zombie series on Netflix, The Kingdom?
Yeah, it's fun.
No.
Yeah, it's a pretty good series. They just released a prequel movie, kind of explaining the end credit stinger of season 2 had this like girl with a bunch of zombies, chained up in a room, and this movie kind of explains how that happened and how she was actually responsible for the zombie outbreak in season 1 going forward, and it's pretty pointless. It is like it shows you something of like a character that they added in later, and like, hey, she's responsible for this thing that you don't really care about. Like, imagine if they explained in like Dawn of the Dead or Night of the Living Dead, here's the one person that actually dropped the uh flower or whatever that created the first zombie. Like, no one cares. It's
There's a
just
2-hour
like,
movie about the one inept janitor that tipped over the barrel. Yeah.
yeah, it's basically just set up. She's weaponizing them now. She's like the big bad for season 3 apparently. So that's pretty cool. I like the idea of like fully weaponizing these zombies, like using them as like biological weapons in ancient Korea.
Did you say that there was a tiger fight?
Oh, dude, yeah. So this one opens with apparently this is how the thing started. It first the flower gets eaten by a deer, and if you eat this flower, you just become zombified apparently. So the deer it's a zombie deer, and then a tiger comes to fight this zombie deer, and it's this CGI fight between this deer and a tiger.
Eat your heart out, Army of the Dead. Come on now.
And I was like, yeah, fuck you, Zack Snyder. This is what I'm talking about right here. And then, of course, the zombie deer, after it gets eaten, the zombie tiger gets zombified, and it just starts to wreck shit across the province. And they are, they're like, a bunch of these guys try and go out and hunt this tiger with like knives and swords, and I was like, where are your spears and bows, dudes? Because every one of them keeps getting like pounced on and ripped apart. Like,
My God.
yeah, it's not really a close quarters fight, guys. But it is pretty awesome. I'll tell you
Do
what.
this with
Just
honor.
I hope there's more zombie like animals in the next one. That's pretty rad.
This is making me want to go watch Zoo, but I feel like that's a bad idea.
Oh, that dumb series where the
Yes.
animals fight?
Yes.
Ah,
But I feel like it might lead to this.
Or Jungle Cruise came
That
out this
actually looks
week.
fun. I don't want to pay premiere access for it, but that looks fun.
It'd be funner with zombies.
I watched The Night Comes for Us, but I'll let Les, like, because I only watched it because Les was talking about how much he was love rewatching it, so I'll let him get the final word on that.
So this week I watched Good Fight, Evil, because of last week's Wellington Paranormal leading in HBO Max suggesting something. I watched another episode of Tacoma FD, which is a really goofy sitcom on True TV, which almost has figured out how to make a sitcom. Lisa finished watching Ragnarok, the end of season 2, which on Netflix. That show, it's so weird. It's so slow, but it's watchable, but so goddamn slow. It's really odd. Ted Lasso came back, and we'll talk about that next week. Friggin' amazing, as expected. Watched more iCarly. Watched Fear Street 1666, which also contains the back half of the 1994 and wraps the whole thing up.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Is that how it works? because I was gonna say I didn't like the second one, and I thought like the third one wasn't gonna really catch my
No,
interest.
what you didn't like about the second one is not fixed. I mean, like they should have not ignored. I don't know why they only focused on the Axe Kid. That's it in the second movie when they've got like 7 other killers. And in this one, at least, when they jump back to 94, there's a moment in the mall where they literally get all of the monsters to fight each other for a minute, and it's fun.
Awesome.
It's fun as shit. So yeah, I enjoy their trashy teen gore. I really enjoyed those. I hope they make more Fear Street type shit. Mysterious Benedict over on Disney is currently the only I think good thing Disney Plus is making right now. Masters of the Universe Revelation, Mindhunter, which Fanny just finished up and couldn't believe there's not more of that. I watched The Hunt because Nick suggested it.
Mindhunter.
That movie is so
good.
fucking fun. Everybody should go watch The Hunt. It's a blast. Betty Gilpin needs to, I think that's her name, needs to have a whole career as action comedy. I fully agree. Watched the first episode of We Are Lady Parts, which was surprisingly good. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to watch more of that. John Oliver, which continues to be a really thorough explanation of a huge problem facing us, along with the exact solution of what to do about it. But we're just not going to do any of it. And then I also watched the new episode of The White Lotus, new episode of Motherland Fort Salem, and then I watched The Night Comes for Us again because I had seen something on social media about Timo, the director's new movie, or that he's going to work on. I think it's working on something with Scott Derrickson and Cargill, and that's super cool.
Oh, nice.
So this guy, the best action movie in the world right now, I swear to God, is called The Night Comes for Us, and it is out of Indonesia. It is on Netflix right now, and if you've ever enjoyed martial arts movies, it is the finest thing ever made. The guy also manages somehow to be the best action director I see going right now, and one of the best horror directors I've seen. And
he had one of the best action movies last year at Fantastic Fest when Night Comes for Us, and one of the best fucking horror movies with
same year.
The Devil, what was it?
Wow.
Devil May Take Us, or Devil.
The Devil Take You. Yeah, Devil May Take You. Or
Devil May
like
Take
that.
You. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy simultaneously had one of the best action movies at the fest and best horror movies at the fest.
Yeah, he was the king shit of that fest,
and it's just getting better and better. So everybody should go watch Night Comes for Us. I fucking love that movie.
Out of Indonesia, where life is apparently cheap
and insurance premiums are non-existent because damn, their stuntmen do whatever they want. And then I also watched Headshot, which is the movie he did prior to that, but on Nick's recommendation. And Headshot, it's a lot of the same actors, a lot of the same stuff. Nick, you nailed it. You are literally watching him work out stunts and camera moves for Night Comes for Us. Like, watching Headshot is cool, and you're like, it's almost there. It's almost there. Oh, this scene's almost there. That's almost perfect. And like, especially coming right off of watching Night Comes for Us, I was like, holy shit, this really is figuring it out.
You're watching a director learn how to make his masterpiece.
Yes. Yeah. Which means it's already, Headshot is still as good or better than most action movies I've seen. You just know that this guy is about to be the fucking Kubrick of action movies here. And and yeah, it's just awesome. I love the shit out of watching that. I also found, I haven't watched it yet, I found over on YouTube the first horror movie that he made, I think working with his brother or working with a friend of his. They're called the Mo Brothers on it, and it's called Macabre, and it looks really fun. Like, teens go into the city, pick up a girl who says she's been mugged on the side of the road, and are just going to drop her at her house, and pretty sure none of them make it out. Like you do.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's
oh my gosh,
that's been TV Diaries this week.
I actually had something similar happen to me one time, like in real life, IRL. We were walking home. It was a graduation weekend, NC State University. We're walking over this median, and there's like a median in the road, big trees in the median, no cars. And then we see this car barrel down. Car pops the curb, hits the tree. All right. We weren't in the road. We were like about to cross. Hits the tree. Drunk girl gets out. Oh no, I'm graduating tomorrow. My boyfriend just broke up to me. My life is over. And my buddy who went to school there without missing a beat said, throw the girl in the back seat. Jumped in the driver's seat. He was also hadn't been drinking. Drove the car around the neighborhood for like 20 minutes while we're like, where do you live? Tell us where you live. Finally, she gets back to her house and we drop her off. And then we're like, crap, where the hell are we? And then we walked home trying to find our way home. But that was actually the first time I ever had like a 3 a.m. Jimmy John's, a night to remember.
You got to be really careful about how exactly you phrase that, because like it could have came off really easily as throw her in the back seat.
I was like, where the fuck are we going with this, Kyle?
Throw her in the car.
I've got a plan. I go to school here. You're lying, ghost woman.
Well, it's like we're gonna jump into a stranger's car, and then even when we dropped her off, it's like, how do we know this is her plate? Like, is she gonna be? It was a mess.
Yeah,
but
weird time. The Tacoma FD episode I watched, they're letting somebody into their home, and like this woman standing out in a night robe, and she's like, we really are supposed to see some ID, and she's like, come on, I'm in my fucking night robe, and so they unlock the door, and they go back, and they're like, really glad we helped her out, blah blah blah. It's so nice that we helped. And in the background, you see her pull a Camaro out of the garage, pour gasoline across the top of it, and light it on fire, and walk away. Like drop the robe, and she's in normal clothes, and like walks off, and like, fuck you, Tommy. So yeah, there's no telling whose house you dropped her at.
That's
great. So that wraps up TV Diaries of what we watched this week, and now on to our next regular segment. Nick, you want to lead us through Stranger Than Fan Fiction?
Imagine, if you will, a reality containing television programs so bizarre they are indistinguishable from the ravings of a madman. Is the show you are about to hear simply a fabrication in the mind of a man with clearly nothing better to do with his time? Or is the truth indeed stranger than fan fiction?
Of course. Okay, so whose turn is it to pick?
I think it's got to be Kyle.
Right?
I think I picked.
All right, Kyle, are you ready?
I can go. I am ready, sir. You're not going to get me again. I'm learning your style.
All right, how about L and D?
I can't give you the D, so I'm going to have to go L.
All right, so taking the L on that one. I like it. Oh, this is a good one. All right, so this show is about two adventurers who go around and have and review brothels, basically.
Are the brothel swords?
Not brothel swords.
Okay.
These two have their goal, their anime type goal, is not to save the world or free their father from imprisonment. No, their goal is to fuck every living a female version of whatever species is on Earth. So like vampire chick, werewolf chick, cat girl, like that. Anything, like their goal is to fuck every one of them. And you have the one dude is a human.
That's some Captain Kirk stuff.
Right?
One dude is a human, and one is an elf. The human is really into elves, because elves look like they're 20, even if they're 500 years old. The elf think that's fucking gross, because oh my god, she's 200, you weirdo. But the elf loves elderly human women. He's like, oh man, humans are the best. None of them are older than 100. Woo! And I'm like, I don't even want to get into how fucking creepy that is.
I keep getting older. They all die at 100.
That's a good gimmick for a show. Yeah.
It's like I guess there's no such thing as a long-term relationship with him. Just like,
I love the idea of the human guy dating an elf that both looks human society too young for him, and elves, so that he's 50 and everybody's like, yeah, I can't believe you're dating a 20-year-old, and all the elves are like, I can't believe you're dating that 200-year-old. Jesus.
Yeah, that's exactly the first episode how it goes, and I thought oh, this is really funny, and it proceeded to get a lot grosser. They they end up posting a review of the latest brothel they had. And I guess they were asked about it in this tavern, and then they go off on a little adventure or whatever, and then come back later. Only they find an angel that has been dropped from heaven, I guess, the literal stand. Hey, did you drop from heaven? Yeah, this one literally dropped from heaven, and their halo is broken, so they can't get back. So the guys agree to help this angel to get back to heaven, because they want a free pass into heaven, because they want to figure out if there's brothels up there, because they want to because they figured heaven's got to have the best brothels. Like heaven's got to have the best tale. And they ask the angel, like, hey, you're a dude, right? And it's like, yeah, I got parts, and shows him his dick. But this angel has both parts. Like, is a hermaphrodite angel, which they still call it a dude. I don't know. Is this progressive? Is it insulting? I have no idea. I don't know anymore.
I still want to hear the Big Rock Candy Mountain like hobo dream of brothel heaven song.
So they
Progressive for sex workers.
they get this angel laid, like this virgin angel. They get him laid by this cat girl, and they rope him into the review thing, because it turns out while they were away, their reviews, like, they made money off of their reviews. People were like buying up their pamphlets or whatever to see their reviews on the brothels, to see which ones were the best, and which girls were the best in each brothel. So they're like, oh man, we can like ditch this adventuring thing and just make this our career. So they do just that, and they figured out that having an angel on the review also ups sales, because if an angel thinks this is a good fuck, then it must be like divine, like heavenly divine. So they constantly keep pressuring the angel into having sex with more and more of these women, and it is so crazy. They have I think there was a sex with an octopus lady. There was some harpies that they were having sex with, and then
What did he get from sex?
You got
You
harpies.
said he got
yeah.
harpies?
the bird ladies, they they got a bad review from the snake lady, because the snake lady wanted they don't allow snake people in their brothels, and the snake lady was like, that's fucking racist, like that's unacceptable. It was just shame, because I really wanted to wrap them up and constrict and really squeeze on them. And I was like, okay, now, but I see why they don't let you guys in, because that's pretty weird. Like, I don't know who am I on the side for of this human rights violation. But I think I left off at the second episode because only one episode was dubbed, and I can't like fully watch this show. It is abhorrent to the eyes. So and having to read the screen is just way too much. So I only got to where they're about to fuck some fairies, which are like Tinkerbell-sized fairies, and then I got to the point where they're measuring their dicks, because they're like, well, we got to figure out your size. There's certain size limitations to the fairies, and I went, and I'm done. So the rest of the show will remain a mystery to me.
Hey, just remember that critically acclaimed The Leftovers had a penis scanner in it. So,
True.
I mean, we are
True.
living in progressive times.
That's right. That door unlocked with his dick. That's right.
So, guys, is this a weird, unbelievably sexually creepy fantasy that I stole from a fan fiction website I'd rather not name? Or is this the truth indeed stranger than fan fiction?
This is, I mean, fan fiction's all about sex. All right.
What? Name 1,700 examples.
Name 1,000 good examples. Yeah.
Gay Harry Potter. Or
the existence of 50 Shades of Grey that's just Twilight fanfic.
I mean, you think of like any type of Marvel male lead, and there's like, you know, erotic versions done. It's a thing. I'm not making this up.
Look, I don't want to say what Thor and Loki get up to in the fan fiction, but it is not what brothers should be doing.
I mean, even in the mainstream
it's gonna be Thor and
MCU,
Korg.
Loki hit on himself. Like, as soon as the camera's off, he gonna fuck his variant.
That's more like masturbation. That's not incest, right?
That's a weird argument to
I just
have in the
realized
MCU.
We're gonna have
That is a pretty weird argument,
gonna
but we're
have-
fucking having it. I don't know. That's where we're at.
So yeah, fanfic, sex stuff. I don't want to be fooled again. This is good, but this is also like, is it too good?
It's good, but is it too good?
If it's too good, I know it's fanfic.
Anime's pervy, but is this too pervy?
Mm-hmm. Like if somebody gave me the plot of that like naked school uniform show we did,
Mhm,
Kill
Kill
la
la
Kill,
Kill. I would think you're fucking with me.
I just said fanfic in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So where do you fall on this one, Kyle?
Oh, I'm going fanfic.
I believe it's real.
All right, Les, you believe it's real. Kyle, you believe it is fan fiction. Kyle, I am so sorry. You are wrong once again.
This is real?
This is real. This is a real show. It is called
Woo.
Interspecies Reviewers.
Wow, they even just went with the name that actually has it in the name, like it isn't called like Planet Fun Glory or some weird shit. Like, no, it's just
Pretty direct on this
Yep.
one. Pretty straightforward with this advertising.
how do we translate "fuck Yelp" into Japanese? Well,
This show was on Funimation for 3 episodes before they canceled that shit.
oh my god,
And
Oh.
because Funimation was like, this is not up to our standards. We do not put shit like this on our thing. You know, the show that the service that puts Kill la Kill on it is on there. This is too weird for them.
they're like, clean it up
Oh
here,
my
boss. Come on,
gosh.
Yeah, don't be gross.
get it together.
You know the problem? They should have gone all in with the bestiality, like taking the humans out of it. It should have been like a rabbit and a beaver trying to have sex with all these other species. You get a human in there, and then it's just like that's weird.
Yep. Now
Actually, and
it's
then
weird.
this-
Now you're making it weird.
For
This
that killer fairy joke.
this
Or
show
elf.
is actually
What were they? Elf,
Elves,
the
aging
ageless
thing.
elves. Yeah.
yeah, the and then they only dubbed 1 episode of it before they like, nope, no more of this. Nope.
I think everybody involved had a certain amount of work they could do on this project before they went, and I'm out. Like voice actors, animators, everybody.
Everybody was like, nah.
Like the guy uploading it to Funimation was like, 3 and I'm done. That's it. I'm done.
This show was brought to us by one of our listeners, Oscar. I would say your last name, but I don't know if you want to be associated with this. So
Bravo for finding that. I mean, I assume
Sorry,
Oscar,
Mr. The Grouch.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for suggesting this. Real treat. What a nightmare. Also, if you would like to suggest anything for Stranger Than Fanfiction, I am accepting requests for real and fake shows at truthistrangerthanfanfiction@gmail.com. If you would also like to participate.
Now, I feel like in return, I have to share the absolute coolest thing that I've seen online that folks can go and listen to for just fucking crazy content. They did a whole episode on like whether Batman could eat pussy. These guys are super weird. It is, let me get the address right. It is Patreon, so like patron but with an E, .com/ that's a / TV dudes.
I listen to those guys
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Patreon.
they're all right. Randy, I think
/
that's
the
Randy's his
TV
name.
dudes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
they
folks-
kind of lost it when they got
Oh.
that second Wisconsinite gone. Like,
Oh yeah.
get some diversity.
That cheese ball. So yeah, folks can go over to patreon.com / TV dudes. We are, according to this website, creating TV podcasts. Today, we will be talking about all of the new trailers that have dropped and whether any of them are any good. Yeah, if you are wondering what your opinion is on it, come find out. We'll tell you.
If you want to go back to the archives, it's years and years ago, but we did the read through of the 9/11 Seinfeld episode.
Oh my god, I fucking forgot about that. Oh wow, yes.
So if you want to dig through the crumbs, there's a little gem hidden down
I feel like
there.
we could do that again. I feel like there have been Corona episodes written like for old shows. We could
Or
probably do
it's
that
just
again.
time to like revisit
That one.
the Seinfeld episode. Get some of our friends to sit in and play characters.
What's the deal with mask mandates?
Jerry, have you seen my box cutter? Have you seen my box cutter?
Oh god, I don't even want to know what side
Just
hustle.
Kramer sneezing in people's faces.
Right. So yeah, folks, you go over to
Oh.
Patreon and throw down and keep us in our streamings. This is how we watch things that are not on cable, and yeah, keep the show going. So that leads us into the reason that we are here, which is obviously to pass judgment upon Kevin Smith's life's work.
Well, shouldn't we mention the showrunner
Oh.
level? Or
Yes, we should. I failed to do that. Randy never does. At the showrunner level, you can make Randy watch the anime of your choice for $20.
Oh yeah. Patreon.com / the
TV dudes, just TV dudes. You can go and drop $20 down. You only got to do it once. You don't have to keep it sustaining. Just throw down the initial $20. Just one Tubman in the bowl, and we will knock it out. We will watch whatever anime you want, and we'll make Randy watch more of it than the rest of us as a gimmick, as a stunt. We'll tell him he needs to watch 8. It's great. It's good fun. Yeah, doesn't have to be
Is
anime.
this bestiality one on there?
Ooh, there's only 3 of those, but we'll make Randy watch them. Just, whatever. It doesn't have to be anime, but it's more fun that way.
We should monkey paw him. We should go, Randy, this one only has 3 episodes. You sure you
How
don't want to
bad
watch
could
this?
it be, Randy? Yes, I agree. The $20 showrunner level is really where it's at.
Yeah, pretty succinct, pretty self-explanatory. I don't think that needs any clarification at all.
Absolutely none. We're just going to stop this segment entirely.
Yeah, no example needed or anything like that.
Nope.
Wish Randy was that clear.
Moving forward, we've got, I believe, a cartoon that harkens back to my childhood, Masters of the Universe Revelations over on Netflix. I honestly,
the power of TV dudes.
honestly thought that this is going to look like the She-Ra cartoon, and that I was kind of hoping that they were going to do She-Ra like as mad as that made a bunch of fucking neckbeard jackasses. I was hoping they were about to do that to He-Man, and even though the art style doesn't look like that, story-wise, they basically did. So, did you guys play with Masters of the Universe toys when you were a kid at all? Like the big overjacked giant like rubbery action figures?
I had hand-me-downs. And I also collected the wrestling figures of the time that were very much that
same size,
scale.
yeah, same scale.
Yeah, this was definitely like a trend for a while. Actually, Ninja Turtles were kind of similar in scale to the He-Man figures, also, but they were just way more posable. But yeah, He-Man was like the frame, and then usually you got like some arms, some what was it, 3-point articulation, or do they have 5-point?
It was 3, I believe.
The legs didn't
Yeah.
move. That makes it 5.
The Toys That Made Us series had an episode on the He-Man cartoons, because I remember the thing I mostly remember about the He-Man cartoons was a like more thorough than most backstory. They had this ridiculous, like, they all came with a little mini comic book that told like their character's origin story in a comic. I mean, it was really appealing to like comic nerd kid. The thing I enjoyed when I turned this cartoon on was how much they did not shy away from the cartoon designs, from the toy designs.
Yeah.
The vehicles they drive around, I'm pretty sure even some of the background shit is like, let's take the dumbest toy that they ever made for this franchise, animate it, make it move around, and actually look like it works. You know, because like there's some dumb shit in this cartoon that I'm like, oh fuck, I owned that stupid toy. Thank you for making that happen.
And the reason for that is because He-Man license is actually owned, I think, in like 3 parts. There's 3 different people who have certain rights to produce He-Man or Masters of the Universe type stuff, and this iteration was made by Mattel. So their rights are specifically to all the toys and all the comic books that came with the toys. So they leaned really heavy into that.
I felt like it looked great. I mean, they actually had the weird rubbery look to me somehow of how like thick and heavy all the costumes
were.
Well,
and there's a scene where like Skeletor is fighting Moss Man.
Yes.
And like he like sets Moss Man on fire and he goes, "Ooh, smells like pine." And the Moss Man toy was the one that smelled like pine air freshener.
Fucking Skunkor shows up. Like, I had that stupid thing. Henry Rollins playing Triclops. Like, these are all just big, dumb. I kind of enjoyed it. The main crit I had with it, I believe, Nick, was the main issue that jumped out for you initially, which is that to get the ball rolling on this, we're going to put a team together and go on quest for the this huge quest across this season. They have this betrayal happen where Teela gets super fucking mad that no one told her He-Man and Prince Adam were the same person. And she gets so mad about it that in one conversation, she goes from loyal subject getting ordained as the new Man of War to fuck all y'all, I'm out. And it was a little fast.
You suck, you're cool.
Yes.
I believe the character turned on a character called Evil Lynn more.
I did love that she admits later, like, no, my mom didn't. My mom named me Lynn.
Yeah, I added the evil part.
I love that she admits that later of like, no, my parents didn't name me evil.
Teela is played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, and unfortunately it's more season 7 Sarah Michelle Gellar from Buffy rather than seasons 1 through 3. So it's a lot more whiny. Like, she gets better as the season goes along, but the first couple episodes is very much, why didn't you guys tell me? Yeah. And it's really hard to listen to.
Yeah, her helper in the second episode has to look at her and like, hey, I know you have a personal issue with some shit, but I'm going on this quest. Like, because Teela starts to have the whole
girlfriend,
like, well, I'm not
maybe?
gonna help. Yeah, whatever she is. Yeah, it's like, yeah, because Teela's about to be like, yeah, fuck this old woman.
They have said they're not
canon gay.
They have
Oh,
said for the sake of this series at this point, they're not in a relationship, but yeah, they could
but yeah,
totally in the future.
the
I think the biggest
go ahead.
criticism that, every blog is picking up on is Netflix's decision to split this in two pieces. And the reason being is they are going to do more of this season 2, but it's not going to be here till 2022.
So they wanted season 1 to last.
So they're like, this is how we split it up.
Fuck, they Voltroned it?
Ugh.
I'm like, oh yeah, somebody compared it to that. But I'm like, man, did he know that when he was putting this together, Mr. Kevin Smith? Because I have a feeling, I don't know. There was a really good finale, like mid-season finale moment at the end of episode 5. So like, I really love that moment, but I do feel like
Yeah, it's a mid-season finale moment, but not a season finale.
Yeah. I almost knowing that I almost want to tell people because it's Netflix and it's not like you need to watch these on Tuesdays when they air on CBS or
just
something
wait.
to just wait.
Yeah,
Because I really enjoyed the.
it's going to be
I
so
didn't-
good to
I didn't
see
expect
him
to give any shits about
10
this
in
at
a row.
all, and I ended up watching
Yeah.
all of them, which just the animation wouldn't have carried me through all of them, and just the story if I didn't like the animation wouldn't have carried me to putting up with all of them. I don't
Yeah,
like
no
animation
one's
that much.
story comes to a full conclusion. Nothing gets resolved other than, I guess, Orko.
Orko,
If you care about
and I
that.
fucking loved
Yeah,
Orko.
he got the big
super fun.
moment.
But he got his big
Yeah.
moment, and I really want the second half of this. Like I was annoyed like Voltron.
Do you guys know
like,
that's
son of a bitch.
Do you know Orko's the same actor who plays Arthur on the new Tick?
Yes, yeah. Griffin, can't think of his last name.
Newman.
Yeah.
Griffin
Of course,
Newman.
they have a whole lot of that Orko effect on it, or whatever the shit's going on his voice. Like they've got a
He
lot of.
claims that he's doing that.
They
He
got,
claims. Well, he's done the voice live, but
I mean, he's clearly doing a voice, but like, there's something I don't know. It sounded exactly like Orko from when I was a kid, which surprised me. I don't know if that's true. If I went back and found an old He-Man cartoon, but I was also surprised
that was definitely vocoded.
when they go
T-Pain.
to Praeternia, when they go to their heaven, they show off 2 or 3 of like the shittier other I view as the shittier like later model He-Man cartoon designs. Like Hero is a cheeseball character and he's in like the giant gold. Like I remember when that toy came out, and it very much, even as kids, it felt like desperate adults at a toy company trying to save a line. Like, but kids already own all the He-Men. We'll have to just make a new bigger one and call him Hero. And everybody's like, no, okay. And so like seeing him pop up and like, oh yeah, that toy was dumb as balls. But you got something to do in the comic. I mean, in the cartoon.
Yeah, I like that storyline of like Adam actually having to. Well, first of all, they ditch Skeletor and He-Man pretty early,
Amazingly early. That's I think what freaked a lot of people out.
and they focus a lot on Tila, which I thought was a bold and correct move.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives Adam a lot to sacrifice when he eventually like wants to come back. Like, hey, if you go back, that might be your chance at fucking Valhalla, of eternal peace.
I like them being clear that like a lot of people just die and are just done. You
Yeah.
died and got an eternal reward, and yeah, they're real clear to him of like, hey man, you already have your reward. If you walk away from it, it's not guaranteed it'll be handed to you the next time you die. And yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and I like Lena Headey as Evil Lynn. Pretty spot on casting right there.
Oh yeah.
I thought her development through the first half was pretty cool, only to the point where it basically amounts to nothing by the end of it. But maybe they'll do it for the next something for the next half, because they were doing something really interesting with her. So I hope they didn't like just like redo it just because her name is Evil Lynn.
No, and that's why I was a little frustrated that they split it, because it cliffhangers so hard, and it's because they actually spent time developing her turn, and not that she's good, it's her realization that I have wasted my time trying to help him.
She becomes independent.
Yes, she should be queen.
That's the thing. She's chaotic neutral. She's not like a bad guy at the end of this. She's not a good guy. She can flip-flop either way.
And Skeletor chumps her.
Well, she shouldn't be serving Skeletor at all.
No.
That's my problem.
And he fully chumps her this time. Like I think in the next half of this, I think she's pissed at him. I don't know if he realizes that he's got this angry a person in his inner circle. I hope is where they're going with this. Because
and Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
Shit. That was my biggest win.
Oh, that's good.
I believe they were totally right to set this after the events of this world, basically, because they don't retcon away any of anybody's favorite stories. I guarantee there's nobody mad about this show that actually remembers any plots from the original He-Man, but if they claim to, this didn't undo any of them. This happens way after, so both things can exist. I thought it was really, really smart. The only disappointment I had was realizing that this has to be like a part one of an ongoing thing, because you have Mark Hamill as Skeletor, and he spoke for like 2 minutes and is gone.
Yeah, he
Yep.
he had 1 day in the booth for this. Like,
Right?
that was it. Like, he got in, his car was double parked.
Everything Skeletor says is a cutting room line from his Joker
From Joker reels.
Right.
Yeah.
like we didn't even really get Mark Hamill. We just had a bunch of Mark Hamill footage.
Yeah, we just had a bunch of outtakes and stuff.
That's why Skeletor yells for a sandwich.
The idea of taking of setting it afterwards, getting rid of Skeletor and He-Man for so long, and making the bad guys and good guys team up against another threat was really cool. Like, it was a good idea, and I hope like they leave it off on a huge cliffhanger that kind of makes it to where that's kind of like null and void. And I liked the setup you had. I really liked these two factions that so used to fighting each other having to work together because they both use these sides both use magic, and they both need the magic for Eternia to function, and so they gotta like fight off technology or whatnot. I thought that was an interesting alliance.
And they've left the motherboard shit.
There's also there.
That shit's creepy.
Yeah,
and that's just sitting out there.
Join the motherboard.
Well, what could have been really cool is they do the time jump thing that they did in episode 3, where every episode starts. It's kind of like Kung Fu, with the David Carradine Kung Fu, where you get this flashback at the beginning, and there's your like badass He-Man and Skeletor fight, and you use the flashbacks as kind of a way to reiterate how repetitive this toy commercial was, where they're always going to fight. There's not going to be like any consequences, but then the episode is the consequences. So without them in Eternia or
I kind of like the idea that like Kyle says, like the Teela and Evil Lynn are kind of like talking about how they're both kind of pissed at He-Man and Skeletor of like, all we ever did was help those guys fight each other. We never accomplished anything.
Yeah. Because they couldn't let their bullshit drop. We couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, if these two sides could just not like not even work together, but just not fight each other for like for a minute, they could get some stuff accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah, because like basically everything big going on in their world is just set up to hide shit from these two assholes.
Yeah, like you feel like, we got to make sure that they don't find this. Like, Skeletor can't use this. Although I did like that Skeletor gets fucking stabbed episode 1. And I was like, oh my god, no one gets stabbed in this universe.
It's like crack.
I didn't even know swords were sharp.
Right? It's like it's like when Winger shoots the dude in the G.I. Joe Community episode, and like, oh god,
you're
man,
like, wait, we
didn't even know they were loaded. Why did you? So
it's like I didn't know somebody could get sheared with plastic. How'd that sword do that?
So I think we're all looking forward to more of these. I would recommend that folks like definitely watch it, but wait so that you're not quite.
You might want to wait.
Yeah.
Also, I think another thing it suffered from is Kevin Smith is like the sham wow guy, but for geek properties. Like he is the all-time hype man for stuff. And you guys get the metaphor, right?
Yes.
I do, but I don't think Kevin Smith would like that comparison.
He's the OxyClean
guy. Yeah. No, I forgot. Sham wow guy like bit somebody and did some other stuff, but like no. He's the pitch man for geek properties. So to say this was overhyped would be a massive understatement.
Yeah, it was hyped to the degree it was going to be hyped.
Yeah, it was good, but it's like I'm not about to go buy all these figures again.
No. our next show on the list, I believe you were the only one who has seen, because TBS has not yet. If only there were a way without cable to get television to me. And I
I would
someday
kill.
TBS is gonna fucking crack it. I know it.
I want to know what these subscriber numbers are, because it's like, who is watching this show? It's on season 3 now.
Well, and how is this still their go-to move of like, no, we're gonna wait? Because I'll be honest, like this, and the same with Rick and Morty. It is not the fault of the creators of either of these shows that I have a fucking chip on my shoulder about them at this point. Of like, in a year or two, if HBO remembers to remind me several times that Rick and Morty's on, I'll go watch it finally, grudgingly, because those assholes kept it from me. And TBS is the same way of like, you guys may have shows, but why are you being dicks about it? But Miracle Workers has been an anthology that switches each season. And I died of dysentery as a kid. I'm interested in the Oregon Trail season, but no. So tell us about it.
Yeah, no, just a quick recap. Season 1, unfortunately, came out like right after The Good Place and was concept adjacent, where they essentially were trying to find God, who was Steve Buscemi, and they were like miracle workers in the afterlife.
Do have kind of a similar vibe.
Yeah, and I think they saw The Good Place and they were like, we don't need to try to compete with that. Like, they definitely kind of, curved the market on that. So they came back season 2 and they were like, what do we got? This awesome theater company, pretty much, of actors that are all have great chemistry and are really funny. So what's something, kind of, bizarre that we could do? And that's when they came back with Miracle Workers, I think medieval times or something like that. It was essentially set in medieval times, and
Well,
a lot of the
serve
humor was
Pepsi in the season 2 then?
They serve Pepsi at medieval times. Cable Guy reference. I got you. Oh, I got you.
That's what I appreciate about you, Kyle. You get my late 90s references. That's what I appreciate about you.
Oh, is that what you appreciate about me?
But no, the all the jokes were kind of just centered around how when people thought the Earth was flat, how dumb they were, and
oh yeah, how dumb they were back then when they thought the Earth was fucking flat.
Yep, people don't think that anymore though. Thank God. But they are kind of going back to the same well with this Oregon Trail, except all the actors have been kind of like, swapped up in their roles. I can't think of the guy's name, but he plays the cab driver in Deadpool. And he had a great role in the medieval season. He was like the king's right-hand man. But in this current season, he's like the man in black cowboy bounty hunter who's like trying to hunt down Steve Buscemi. And it's really funny because he's also super polite about it. He's just like, guys, I need to search you. I'm looking for this outlaw. If anybody stands in my way, I'm just going to shoot you. Thank you for your cooperation. Daniel Radcliffe, he plays a preacher who is just the first joke of the show, just doing funerals back to back. Because oh my gosh, I got to spoil one of these jokes because it just hit so freaking hard. He's standing there at a funeral and he's like, oh, so-and-so died of polio. And, we're all very sad. And, just a quick reminder, if everybody just stood 6 feet apart, you'd have a much better chance of not getting polio. And then they just let it like sit there for a moment. And he goes, I see none of you are moving. Nobody's moving. Okay. All right, back to the funeral. And then an old lady just drops dead. And he's like, we got a little more room in that coffin. 2 for 1. But he's like, nobody's moving. I see no one's moving.
He did live to the ripe old age of 22.
They wagon up and they head on the Oregon Trail. Steve Buscemi, he's their outlaw that's on the run. And he has claimed that he knows the trail and he can deliver them through all of the perils, the dysentery, the poison ivy, all that great
boy, I wouldn't trust Steve Buscemi to lead me to the next bus station, much less on a trail to Oregon.
Hello, homesteaders. I am also a homesteader.
I am also a young homesteader.
Oh, it's fantastic. He shows up, he's riddled with bullet holes. I'm a young homesteader. Favorite meme.
This makes me want to watch
But yeah, no, the
Cannibal
gosh,
the Musical
these
again.
other two leads in there. Who is the female lead?
Oh, I actually don't know. She was one of the new people. I watched season 1, and I thought she's the one that comes down and helps them with the prayers, right? In the first episode.
Yep. Oh, and I am gonna totally butcher the name. It's Geraldine, I think.
Geraldine Viswanathan.
Viswana Geraldine Viswanathan?
Yep.
Viswanathan. All right, I'm giving it the college try. But she is fantastic on this. And the dynamic that she has with John Bass, where they play like this husband and wife, and he's just this dopey, like, hey, I made us some dirty martinis. I just used some of that puddle water that we had on the side of the road. It's like, people are getting dysentery. I wouldn't do that. And he's like, nah, it's fine.
So John Bass's character is Mikey Shit Shoveler.
Yes. Actually, that was his character in season 2.
Okay.
Oh, he comes from a long line of
Of shit shovelers. Yeah, there's also Edward and Alexandra Shit Shoveler.
Uh-huh. Well, and because that was their job. You could be a smith and you'd be the black, or you could be shit shoveler, and you just came around and shoveled the shit.
Yeah, there's literally no one else has a last name except Baker and Shit Shoveler.
You change your last name to Latrine? Yeah, it used to be Shithouse.
Oh, but I think the biggest challenge with this show is each season I've had to like settle in. With a non-anthology show, you're usually captivated with the season finale. You come in on the next season, you want to know what's happening. Like, I'm watching Never Have I Ever right now, and episode 1 resolves all the stuff from last season, and I'm like, ooh, now I'm back into it, ready to go. But with this, I'm like, okay, were they able to pull off a funny concept again? Like, I find all these characters charming. These actors are just doing a really good job delivering slapstick comedy. But especially when the show's already super hard to get a hold of on TBS, when most people are streaming stuff now, the fact that you also have to explain, oh no, watch this season they're doing this, and this season they're doing that. Like, it doesn't seem like American Horror Story, which is what they want, comedy version of that. It just kind of seems like, oh no, we have a great company of actors and we're just going to do a different show every year. Like, they don't even need to be called Miracle Workers, honestly. But that said, if you got access to it, I'd watch it. It's super cute and funny, and I'm really digging it.
I'm going to give the first episode a try because it's available. And then here in a couple of years, I'll be like, son of a bitch, I watched that. Yeah, what is that?
Well, the first 2 seasons are available on... where did I watch them? Shit.
Hulu or Netflix?
Hulu.
Hulu feels
Hulu,
right.
I think.
That's it.
I think so.
Right.
It's a TBS. Yeah. I definitely got to say, the second season I was particularly a fan of. First one was really good too, but it was so hard to not compare it to The Good Place while it was airing.
Sure.
And I think what they did with the second season was really smart. Heck, I'm like, why didn't they? Well, actually, they ended their medieval times story. Like, they wrapped it up. So I guess they couldn't have continued with that. But I do think it would, I don't know. Maybe they'll strike gold again. Miracle Workers Gold Rush.
Well, no, I like that process because, like, American Horror Story has kind of the same advantage of, say I don't like a particular season, I can still like, hey, oh, the next season is like 90s camp slashers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm all down for that. Let's do it. And
completely different.
This one's kind of like a similar thing of like, okay, I don't really like the jokes of like this setup or whatever, but next season will be something different. I can do that.
I feel like Blackadder did the same thing back in the day with Rowan Atkinson. Where like, if you didn't like the medieval one, you could wait. They'll be in World War II in a minute. So moving on to our final show, like a dog we thought was dead that someone forced us to adopt, Disney has adapted a television show out of a movie that we all at some point saw part of, and I'm baffled. Turner and Hooch exists as a show on HBO. I'm sorry, on Disney Plus, and Josh Peck.
Wouldn't it? Oh, Turner and Hooch show on HBO. Could you imagine?
Oh man, that dog would have died again.
They got Tom Hanks money.
Yeah, well, that's what. So
who murdered the Duggar?
I was Josh Peck. I could kind of almost see as the casting for this. I mean, this is the Tom Hanks movie with a giant wet mouth slobbery ass dog. He's a cop. The dog somehow helps him solve crimes. Spoiler alert for a movie that came out 25 years ago. That dog dies at the end of the movie. So I was a little thrown by how they were going to literally continue it forward, because Peck's character in this show is Hank's character's kid. And the dog he gets is, I think, a puppy of Hooch, named Hooch.
I think it's like maybe third generation. I don't know. That still seems kind of old for a dog.
It still seems weird. Josh Peck, I don't know, maybe they just went with like the safest looking. I don't know. He's so not exciting to watch. I can't explain how boring I find Josh Peck on screen. Everyone in
he is like the human equivalent of hummus.
Yes, he's like tofu or hummus or something. Everyone in this show is like this.
There's stuff there, but it's not. You're not going to taste it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't super looking. I enjoyed the original movie. I saw it in the theater. I wasn't really looking forward to the show.
Who doesn't like Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Well, the show does not have Tom Hanks. I don't really care about Josh Peck. I looked him up on IMDb, and his headshot just screams beach public intox, like Spring Break 04. His agent has to get him a better headshot. But he's a cop or a U.S. Marshal, federal marshal. He's got a partner who's pregnant. She's probably the most exciting thing on the show.
Mm-hmm. Don't know what she's still doing in the field of that pregnant.
And she has to justify it to, like, she has an argument with every single person of like, you shut up and don't tell me what to do. And like, I'm not the one running into a gunfight with no backup on a case we've been removed from.
Yeah.
Which is part of the plot of this first episode. Every explosion and fire effect in this pilot looked bad. Every single fire, like out of scale. Like the fire flames are too big.
No, Disney used up all its budget on the Marvel shows and the fucking sports shows it had. Like the
and I'll give it up. Like
Mighty Ducks and whatever the basketball one was.
Josh Peck looks like you couldn't quite get Ralph Macchio, and this guy was available. Like, I get why he's in this show, but
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio. The effects look bad, like a USA pilot that didn't get picked up. Everyone cast in this has that indie movie casting, like where you're trying to figure out who of the entire B-list cast in this show is going to break out. Like, that's the vibe I got, was like, none of you are famous in this movie. All of you are best friends. Like, all of you are the best friend of a show, but none of you are the lead. And then the effects, like, I was just really amazed. Like, when there's a moment at the end of the pilot where a bunch of people are huddled down in a warehouse that is, and I mean entirely on fire. Every wall around them is burning. And you know it's CG because not a one of them is reacting. They are all just hunched, like still just hanging out. And it's just burning around.
Did you guys notice the poster?
No.
It looks like they just photoshopped him into the Tom Hanks.
Oh my
poster.
God. This is the first straight up. Oh my God, background. They did. I mean, they nailed that poster.
That is the amount of laziness that I see from this show.
I can't believe they changed the ampersand, but they even found in the same tie. I find wet mouth dogs fucking disgusting. I love dogs, but it's outright gross to me. And so the running gag in this show, same as the movie, doesn't work for me. Like, Turner and Hooch in the movie only worked because I was like under 10 years old, and so like giant dog slobber could at least be gross funny. I'm 43 now. It's just gross.
But his apartment is clean, and he has his life like this dog.
What did I text y'all? I'm like, oh my God, guys, I'm watching this show about a cop, and his life won't have a dog, but he's about to get a dog. It's not gonna work.
I just hope that if this role defines him, that this dog doesn't do anything to like compromise himself and then tarnish this show in the long run.
Oh my God.
I think this so when a particular gimmick is dead is when they add a dog to it. They did this in like the 80s and 90s with buddy cop movies.
Yes, Turner and Hooch, K9.
Do it with a robot. Do it with like they did it with a dinosaur once with Whoopi Goldberg. But once you do it with a dog, that shit is done. We're not doing that anymore.
Shakespeare in Love style, but with a dog.
And then even with the sports movies, we did it with like, oh, okay, sports movie. Then Air Bud was like, nope, we're done now. We can't.
Yeah, no. Once so that hit its pinnacle with Russell Madness, where a monkey taught a dog to wrestle, and we're done. Like Russell Madness is the pinnacle of that format for me.
Here is the movie. So they have like Remember the Titans, Miracle, all the like inspirational sports movies. There needs to be one where like seriously the inciting incident is like the school's mascot dog dies. And everybody's just like, he was like a brother to me.
Well, now you're just ripping off Ted Lasso.
Right. We're talking that next week.
Oh,
sorry, Randy. Yep. Fuck yourself.
We're talking that next week, Kyle. No dead dogs this time.
On the lasso now.
Football is death.
The other thing that didn't work for me in the fucking holy trinity of shit not working for me in this, his turn of falling in love with the dog in the pilot feels fully unearned to me. Like he hates this dog, hates this dog. The dog disobeys him, risks its life, doesn't actually solve the crime right then. Like they're fucked. They're like double fucked at this point. And he looks at the dog and is like, because I know you've got my back, buddy. I've always got yours. Where the hell did this come from, dude? You hated dogs until a minute ago.
So rushed. A very tight 15.
Les, I am so shocked I agree with you on this, because I thought I couldn't care less about this thing. Like, this show is putting so little effort into it, but yet I'm shocked how even less effort. Like, I thought there was no shits left to give. But no.
It found like a lazier gear.
Like, yeah, it found a way to somehow, like, instead of a lazy river, what if it was just a puddle?
What if this was just brackish and stagnant? Like, they're going to make martinis out of this in Miracle Worker.
A stagnant river. And, yeah, because that turn is like, where did this come from?
And he's crying, like, his eyes are teared up and shit. And, like, oh my God.
Doing?
Every time he took the dog into the office and it's, like, running over the cops over and shit, and I'm like, no, dude, no. That dog is fucking terrifying. Like, if you don't like dogs, even I like dogs, and that dog's too big. There's no way you take that shit in an office.
Also, they do that thing of like the dog is a lie detector or something, or sees the true self, and I'm like, oh, shut up.
Well, thank God Tom Hanks trained him, and the clear love interest dog trainer girl is like, he seems to be so trained in some amazing things.
I would have just loved it. The police chief would have been like, did you bring your dog in here? That's completely unprofessional. You're on suspension.
Right.
Don't ever bring a pet in here again. Are you crazy?
Is that your helper dog? Do you have some kind of training for? And now he's just a canine. Now he's a canine unit.
We're going to add a canine unit to the fucking U.S. Marshals, because that's a fucking thing.
You can't keep this dog from bowling your boss over in the office, but it's going to be well trained enough to be a canine unit. Sure.
Also, in every procedural cop show, whatever cops it is, so like SWAT's the one I watch now, they have like their own Apple Store / Gold's Fitness that's like just for them. Like 5 people share this giant tech center / gym. And they have that here for the dogs. Like, it's like this most state-of-the-art dog training facility just happens to be at this
very LA.
At this police
station. He bursts in on like police training. Like her police training another dog, and she just takes his dog off the leash and lets them go play. And I'm like, you don't know this dog. Like, you don't know Hooch.
The acting is so awkward.
It's so weird.
I thought she was irritated at first because she's like,
weird.
Really? You just want to do this now? We were supposed to meet tomorrow. I guess we're going to meet today.
It's her flirting.
And then in the next scene, she's flirting. She's got a crush on him. She's not irritated.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The worst part of it to me, like the absolute height of laziness to me, beyond the how did you not pay for better explosion effects? Like this, I swear to Christ, this is a USA pilot that USA didn't pick up, and Disney was like, we own the rights to that. But how did Disney not find the money to get Tom Hanks to just read that one letter to his son? Like, there's this whole bullshit through the pilot of like, I'm not going to read this letter from my dad yet.
VO.
I'm not going to read this letter from my dad. I'm going to fold this letter back up. You want to read this letter with me, dog? It's probably about you, but I'm not going to read it yet because I'm a weird, cold-blooded person that the audience is supposed to connect to.
They were probably embarrassed to ask him, honestly.
The whole time where I'm like, you guys realize that the center person of your character, the center character of your show, like the person I need to connect to plug in here, is numb and laying there on the bed, refusing to acknowledge that his father just died. I know his dad is Tom Hanks in this world. And so do you realize the amount of hate I have for you, son, that you are being a dick about losing Tom Hanks? And then to not even have the voiceover, like they just have Josh Peck cry halfway through the letter. And I was like, Disney, I know you could pay Hanks. He could phone this in literally, just could have called the set and read it.
Les, I tell you what, an intern was about to do it, but a Disney exec was like, no, don't even
We don't
bother.
need that.
No, we need him to return our calls for when we need another Toy Story short.
I think the kid's got the phone picked up and they like put his hand in the receiver back down and like, no.
Like,
Have you seen the rest of this show? We're not involving Mr. Hanks in this.
No, Mickey called him up and was like, Mr. Hanks, here's the line. Here's what we're going to do. And he said, who do I look like? Emilio Estevez?
Right? I got shit to do, man. I'm Mr. Rogers.
I ain't coming back for this.
I have self-respect, sir.
Call me when you're making Joe versus the Volcano, the series.
I don't do sequels unless they're animated.
Yeah, when they did the whole, like, his dad has a case of, like, a big, huge, interconnected case at the end of it, I was like, I did double middle fingers. I was like, fuck you, we're out.
Oh God, I forgot about their
dumb.
completely ham-handed, like, why don't we in the last 3 minutes of this episode, though we've led up to this in no way, I wasn't even sure his dad was a fucking cop, and suddenly, like, I didn't know that his dad didn't, if they'd have told me in this world that Tom Hanks retired right after the movie because of the dog dying and like your dad was never a cop again, that's about the amount of like dad tie to your career that we were feeling. And then suddenly your dad's got this like big bad of the season, all these cases, all these files that are hidden in the closet of his house, and only Hooch was in on it.
Only Hooch knows the secret.
I did the same thing, Nick, of like middle fingers up to a TV that is probably, I assume my TV's watching me, and if so, then it got the double fucking thing.
Yeah, like, that's one point where I'm hoping Disney is watching for our visual reaction. Like, hey,
Alexa, did you see this? You see this, Alexa?
Don't you ever show me any shit like this again?
Right.
For all the double dipping they did on that original movie, they left out my favorite line from the original movie. There was never a moment where he said, "Not the car, not the car."
Yeah,
Wait, he didn't do
he
that,
makes
really?
reference to like, nope, he makes reference to I can't leave him in
They
the car.
ate
He
the
keeps eating
car,
my
yeah.
headrest.
Oh
But he
man, I
didn't
guess
do
I just
the-
That
assumed
was
they
the
did it.
closest they got to
Yeah,
it.
but he didn't do the actual line.
Maybe that'll be
Wow.
season finale.
And
Lame.
somebody had told me Reginald VelJohnson reprises his role from the movie. I don't remember his role in the movie really.
Oh, that's
I
sad.
I barely remember the movie other than like knowing that the dog died at the end of it because Jesus fucking Christ. That hit me like a brick as a kid.
I would respect them more if they leaned in and was like, what if Hooch is the veteran? And he has to bring Turner on as the rookie. And then Hooch is the one that's all is like all Hooch. I tell you, like the chief is always telling him like, hey, you gotta obey the rules. I tell you what, you're a bad dog. Sometimes a bad dog is what you need to get things done.
That's it. They should lean into this further.
All right, I want your collar and your badge. He just takes
Yeah.
his collar and his badge and he spits them out on the desk.
Yeah, the chief should. Yeah, he just dog shrugs out of the collar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chief only talks to the dog.
I don't want to see you anywhere near this case. Okay, we're making a show I want to watch now.
This is the first absolute misfire that, I mean, like Monsters at Work, I just don't care about, but it seemed fine.
Sure.
It's like Nick said, like this is not a show I want to watch, but that's the best you could make that Monsters at Work show.
It's a property that's not technically ancient, I guess. Like that people kind of remember. And, like,
Yeah, this one's. I mean, if you told me that Cobra Kai was going to work as well as it did, I wouldn't have believed you. If you told me Mighty Ducks was going to work as well as it did, I wouldn't have believed you. And so I was willing to be surprised by this.
But both those shows have Dorian Gray looking dudes.
Yep, and both of them twisted it. Like both of them did something with it.
well, and also both of them had multiple movies. They had franchises built into these things and then like rebooted it. Like Turner and Hooch was just one fucking movie and no one gave a shit.
I'm standing by it. I want, well, Gumption, the series has to happen, and B, I want Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Wait, is that the Forrest Gump show?
Yes.
Ooh,
We're
that's
just making this up. No,
Oh!
I'm just making this up. Like Kyle, when you said Forrest Gump 2, and I was like, Gumption, the series.
No lie. I actually have my own Forrest Gump 2 fanfic. I even have
It's all
another
sex. It's just all
fanfic
sex.
I wrote where in that universe, Forrest Gump was a real person who became president after the events of those movies. So everybody refers to the Gump administration.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
All right,
that's
Kyle,
great.
that's what we're reading for Patreon.
Oh,
You-
that's good stuff.
We're table reading the shit out of this.
Disney, like we got a bunch of ideas that are really terrible, but are better than Turner and Hooch.
Yeah. Every dime you save not hiring Hanks for this 2 minutes of letter reading, you can produce a pilot for Kyle's Gump.
Yeah, how good is this kid's Forrest Gump? This Disney Channel kid you got.
Right. I'm sure somewhere in the stable they just got to dig through the orchard and uproot some kid. Can you do a Forrest Gump voice? No.
Yeah, he's got to run against Jenny or something for like the other vice president. Yeah, Gump that bitch. By which I mean politely disagree with her. That's because that's what gumping is.
Oh my God, I don't want an Urban Dictionary what gumping is. Don't do that. Oh, well.
Yikes.
I think that is all the damage that can be inflicted about these particular shows.
Goosegumps.
Goosegumps.
I'll buy that for $1.
Right. So yeah, thanks for talking about all of it, and thanks Kyle, thanks Nick.
Thank you, Les. Thank you, Nick.
Everybody can go tune in this week on the Patreon, and we will talk about, I believe, all the trailers that are coming out for new stuff that you're going to be excited about. Maybe come listen to us. We'll tell you if you should be excited.
Sure.
And until next time,
TV Dudes out.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.